All right, writing equations from slope and points you're given. All right, so first of all, your x and y intercepts. Right, this is where your x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. So your x-intercept here is -2, and your y-intercept is where a line crosses the y-axis. On this line, your x-intercept is -2, your y-intercept is 3. A linear function, remember linear means a line, straight lines. They have one y-intercept and 0 or 1 x-intercepts, but always one y-intercept and a maximum of 1 x-intercept. All right, x and y-intercept. Your x-intercept, the y value for the x-intercept is always 0, right? Because if we're intersecting at 3, we're not plus or minus on our y-axis when we're crossing that line. Likewise, on our y-intercept, the x value is going to be 0 wherever we cross the y-axis. It's really important. So trying to see if you can figure out what they are for this one. The coordinates for each intercept. Right? Your y-intercept is 1. You'd write that as a coordinate pair would be 0, 1. Because your x value is 0 for whatever y-intercept. And your x-intercept here is 2. So your coordinate would be 2, 0. All right, so writing an equation given the slope and the y-intercept. This is about as easy as it gets, right? Because the y-intercept is the same thing as b. You substitute into your equation y equals mx plus b, the slope m that you're given, and the y-intercept for b, and you're good to go. All right, so here's a couple of examples. This is a great time to pause the video, see if you can keep up. Right, so for number 1, slope is 1, your y-intercept is 2. I'm about to start playing the answers. And here we go. First one, you get 1x plus 2. You don't need that 1 there. I'm just putting it so that you can see that a slope of 1 would be the same thing as x plus 2. Number 2, we should get 2x minus 1. Number 3, -1/4 x plus 1. And number 4, -6x plus 3/4. Okay, so now writing if you're given slope and the x-intercept. If you're given the x-intercept, the y value at that point is 0. So your coordinates would be x, comma 0. You're going to substitute the m and the x and y into the equation y equals mx plus b. You're going to solve for b, and then you can put m, which is given in the equation or in the problem, and b that you find in step 2 into the equation y equals mx plus b, and you've solved the problem. So we're going to do an example here. Right, so if your slope is -2 and your x-intercept is 2, right, step 1, what's our y value? X-intercept's 2, y equals 0, which means we're at coordinates 2, 0. Step 2, we substitute in, and everything's color-coded so you can see where I'm getting these numbers. Your slope, m, goes right here, x-intercept for 2, and 0 is our y value. When we solve that for b, we get b equals 4. And now we can put our slope and our b value into the equation, y equals mx plus b, and we get y equals -2x plus 4. We're going to give it another try. If your slope is 5/3 and your x-intercept is -3, right, first step, what's the y value at an x-intercept of -3? It's 0, always. So we've got -3, 0. Substitute that into our equation. 0 equals 5/3, that's our slope, times -3, that's our x value, plus b, that's what we're trying to find. When we rearrange that equation, we get 5 equals b. We put that in our slope into our slope-intercept form. We get y equals 5/3 x plus 5. One more example with slope and x-intercept. Right, if our slope is -4, that's m, and our x-intercept is 3. Step 1, x-intercept is 3, our y value is 0. Step 2, we're going to substitute -4, 3, and 0 into our equation, y equals mx plus b. We get 0 equals -4 times 3 plus b. That solves for 12 equals b. And we plug that back into the equation, we get y equals -4x plus 12. Now what if you're given the slope and only 1 point? It's really the exact same process that we just went through with the x-intercept, except one of them isn't a 0. We're just going to substitute in m, x, and y into the equation, y equals mx plus b, solve for b, and put our slope and our b values back into the equation, y equals mx plus b, and we're done. So we're going to do a few examples of that. If our slope is 2, we're using 0.2, -3. We would just substitute all that into our y equals mx plus b. You can see it's all color-coded. You see where I get these numbers from? -3 equals 2 times 2 plus b. We end up with -7 equals b, giving us the equation y equals 2x minus 7. For our next example, I've got a slope of -4, and I'm at points 1, -3. Substitute that all into our equation. There it is, color-coded. There's our substituted in numbers. We've got -3 equals -4 times 1 plus b. Rearrange everything. We get 1 for b. And we plug that back into the original equation for slope and y-intercept, our b, and we get y equals -4x plus 1. Next example, I've got 1/3 for slope and -3, 2 as our point. That's your standard, not standard form, that's slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Substitute in, we get 2 equals 1/3 times -3 plus b. That solves for 3 equals b. We substitute in our b value and our m value to the equation. We get y equals 1/3 x plus 3. I think this is the last one. Our slope is 1/2 at 0.25. Right, here's your equation for slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Substitute in your x, your y, and your slope. You get 5 equals 1/2 times 2 plus b. That solves for 4 equals b. We put b and our slope back into the equation. We get y equals 1/2 x plus 4. Okay, just last note, if you can't keep track of which one of these we should be using, if you're given x-intercept, if you're given 1 point, what do we do, what do we do, what do we do? You just need to remember the last one. Which is it? Given writing equations from slope and 1 point. Because your x-intercept and your y-intercept are 1 point. So if you remember these steps from the last examples, that works for all 3 of them. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Mr. Science Jones. Thank you very much.